very grumpy. Why would anyone want to visit them, let alone work for them? Magnus didn't care. He thought he knew better. Everyone else might be silly enough to be scared of giants, but he most definitely wasn't. Anyways, everyone knew that giants had piles of gold hidden away. He gave the door another loud knock. All right, growled a voice. I'm coming. The giant opened the door and glared at Magnus. What do you want? He snarled. Magnus smiled at the giant. I'd like a job, please, he said politely. The giant looked Magnus up and down. I could do with a new worker. All the others ran away or got eaten or something, he muttered. What? Said Magnus. Nothing, said the giant. The giant gave Magnus a trial job for the day. He had to clean out the dog in the stable. If he did it before the end of the day, he could have a job and a palace to stay. Magnus laughed. He may have been a prince, but he'd been cleaning during out all his life. Or at least he'd seen other people doing it. Magnus was sure he knew the very best way. Before he went off to tend his goats, the giant gave Magnus one last instruction. Don't go snooping around my castle or else you'll be for it. No sooner had he gone than Magnus began to think. Cleaning out Doug would take no time at all. And more importantly, the giant had told him not to do something. Nobody told Magnus what he could and he couldn't do. Before he went to the stable, he decided to snoop about the castle. Magnus found all sorts of strange and wonderful rooms. But in the kitchen, he found a strange and wonderful person. Kara was the giant's maid. She was pleased to have some company, and they talked and talked until Magnus noticed the time. I'd better go to the stable and clean out the dog, he said. On hearing this, the maid nodded and gave Magnus a piece of advice. Shovel with the handle. It sounds strange, but if you shovel any other way, 10 forkfuls of dug will replace the one you just shoveled out. Magnus had never heard anything so ridiculous. Kara was clearly having a joke with him. Besides, he knew how to do things, and hadn't he just left the house because his dad kept giving him advice? Magnus would show her. He marched off to the stable and began to shovel, the way he'd seen servants doing it before. The best way, not with the handle, but with the scoop. But before he knew it, he was up to his neck in dug. Yuck! He remembered what Kara had said, and thought about it again. He supposed there was no harm in trying out her suggestion. He turned the shovel around and used the handle instead. The dog flew out all on